That's Hunter.
Yeah. Mr. Angry Man is back. I'm back. That's right. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Nah. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Yeah. Listen. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. United we fall, divided we rise. That's all they ever see when they look in our eyes. I ain't the least bit surprised, and I don't even ask why. I study, looking for love, and all we get is despise. They proper lying, what? Meaning they falsely prophesying, talking about we really living, but we steadily dying. Tired of mothers crying, damn, and fathers silently raging. There's gotta be a way to escape this situation now. Yup. Come on. Verse 2. We search for brighter days to escape the maladies, giving homage to the folks that passed away. I speak life with the words I say, and that's the weapon I use to keep the evil at bay. I don't play when it comes to mine. My rhymes speak of a revolution this time. It's by design, and I'ma drop these deposits. So if you scared, take your ass to the closet. Why? Let me tell you this. Let's go. I got one more verse for you. Get them off of that verse. Listen to me now. Verse 3. I drop gems, representing lugs and Timbs with backpacks. I got props like Black Moon, they want effect like Daz. I'm pouring mic like Nas. I'm the southern playalistic cat that beat them odds. I'm coming out hard. We coming out hard. Yes, sir. Y'all didn't know that I can rock like that. Ha. One time for your mind, representing for the deuce. That's right, put it down for the deuce tray. Let's go, Mr. Angry Man. Haha. Peace. And good evening. Welcome to Trailblazers Radio. I am your host, Mr. Frederick Beatty. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching us tonight, man. You guys could have been anywhere else, but you guys are right here rocking out with us, and we most definitely appreciate it, and we appreciate it, man. Like I always say, continue to like and follow us on all our various social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Also follow us on our YouTube channel. We are on the road to 100 subscribers. So please do me a solid and subscribe to the channel, but only do it if our content resonates with you. So do me a solid. Take a peek at the channel. Take a look at a couple of shows we've done, and then if you feel that the content resonates with you, by all means subscribe. And while you're there, take a peek and like some of the videos. Also follow my other host, Quint Jones, Coco Fenton, and Latanya Harris Gooden, also known as LHG. Follow them on their various social media platforms. And also follow them on their various social media platforms, but also follow them here on Trailblazer Radio as well. My Life Has Destiny and Critical Conversations, respectively. So, and last but most definitely not least, I want to thank our listenership and our viewership, because without you guys, this doesn't happen. And most definitely want to thank God for all the blessings that have been bestowed upon us. Because again, without Him, this doesn't happen. This doesn't happen either. And now, with that being said, y'all, I don't plan to be up here before you guys very long. However, I do want to kind of talk to you all about something that was on my mind. First and foremost, to let you guys know, this particular show is called The Check-In. This is where we talk about all things mental health and beyond. So the theme of this particular show is going to be something that is called silent suffrage. And it's something that's a little bit that's near, that I won't say that's near and dear to me, but it's something that I personally want to talk about And before I even go and get into any of that, um, I want to tell you where this came from. This came from actually a blog post that I put out several years ago. Uh, excuse me, called "The Avenue of the Silent Sufferer," and some of the things I'm going to say are going to be taken. Some of the things I'm going to say, I'm going to mention, are going to be taken directly, going to be taken directly from that blog post. Once I jump into that, talk about it, break it down a little bit, we'll talk a little bit about what that is and what that means for people, what that means, what it is, and what that means for people who go through stuff like this. So, without any further ado, let's hop right in. Let's hop right into it. So, I had some reservations about wanting to talk about this. Had a lot of reservations about wanting to talk about this. I had some reservations about ask myself questions about even like, do I even want to talk about this? My reservations were most of them were kind of hinged on bringing out a part of me that I don't really reveal to the whole lot of people. To be honest with you, I'm not sure if I still want to, because there's a real fear there, and I'll touch on that in a little bit. There's a real fear of opening myself up to people. But let's talk about what someone that's what's let's talk about what a silent sufferer is. Let's talk about what that is, and why most people choose to do well, why most people choose to suffer in silence. A silent sufferer is someone that takes in all the events and the traumas and the wrongdoings and everything that has happened in their life, and they basically internalize what they're feeling and what they're going through. They don't they don't talk about it. They don't talk about it very much. And if they do talk about it, they only talk about it in possibly trusted circles. But even with that, they don't really talk about it to people. They bear that burden by themselves. They bear that burden alone, 99.9% out of 100. And they don't talk to anybody about it. So I want you guys to follow me on this, because this might be a subject for a lot of people who could possibly relate. And I'll start with my own personal experience with this. As I think about this, and as I bring this to the forefront for me, there are three songs that come to mind for me. The first song is "Somewhere I Belong" by Linkin Park, uh, "Blurry" by Puddle of Mud, and "True" by Lloyd. The song I don't necessarily like the songs for for the lyrics or the tune or the vibe or the things like that. Though I will readily admit to say that I do. But I don't like this. But I don't like the songs for the lyrics or the vibe or the tune. But I like the songs for what they represent to me and the meaning that those songs have at this point in my life. The the last few years have been very, 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 very difficult for me. They've been very, very, I won't say horrific, but they've been difficult. Still going, still grieving, still going, still feeling grief and pain over losing my oldest child to police violence and the fallout of that. Um, Going through a divorce and the emotions that went with that. Um, helping my girlfriend navigate helping my girlfriend navigate the loss of a relative, loss of her relative, and namely her nephew, but also helping her navigate the loss of a child that she personally knew. I'm also navigating my own things. Um, I'm personally navigating myself as a person, working to be a better person, to be a better man, better father, husband, better father, better everything, you know. And been that's been a difficult ride at the moment. And for the most part, I've compartmentalized a lot of that, a lot of those things. Mostly for the simple fact of being very wary about who I open myself up to. Very and there have been and I've compartmentalized this for a reason. It's not necessarily a simple reason, but it's a reason nonetheless. And I've done it because in the past people have reacted to me has reacted to me when I open myself up to people. When I open myself up and I let folks know what I've experienced. There's been some advice, some negative, some positive, mostly negative. There's been ridicule. I've been ridiculed. I've been called being less than a man for feeling how I felt. And oftentimes I've been chastised for what some people would consider quote unquote complaining. My question to those people who have done that, who have done that, what is my complaint? What the hell am I complaining about? What am I? What's my complaint? What am I complaining about? What am I kind of like? What am I saying that? Basically, the question is, what am I saying that gives off the air of a complaint? If I'm telling you what I'm feeling, if I'm telling you how I'm feeling when it comes to a specific situation or a specific thing, and you look at it as a complaint, you look at what I'm telling you how I feel as a complaint, then to me that is a problem. Because I'm not complaining, I'm just expressing how I feel. But when it comes when people look at it and interpret it as such, well, I tend to kind of I tend to turtle up and pull myself back. Because I don't want to be ridiculed. I don't want to be looked at as someone who quote unquote complains. I don't want to be looked at as somebody who is just saying stuff, just saying things for the sake of saying them. If I feel a way about something, I want to be able to express that in a healthy way where it doesn't make me feel like I'm drowning in my own emotions and stuff like that. And for me to compartmentalize a lot of that stuff, that's basically what it's been.
That's a deep question, though, brother. Can I even attack that or
Yeah,
unpack that?
let's unpack it.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, um, wow, that's kind of deep because I feel like when you are expressing yourself to a friend, just as each person is unique, how they receive what you're saying is going to be unique.
Right,
And I believe that some people, depending on where they are in their walk or where they are in their human experience, may take it differently as others. If you're talking to a person who has a lot of their own baggage or issues, and they're like, you know what, yeah, me too, man, I'm feeling crazy too, they may be like, oh yeah, complain to me, we can be miserable together. But now a friend, to me, a friend who wants you to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and depending on your relationship and connection with them, they're going to let you get it out. I mean, just as raw as it needs to be. And they're going to listen first. No interruptions. They're going to let you pour, pour, pour. But then at some point, when you take a breath, a friend who wants you to not stay too long in a depressive or negative space is going to say, okay, I feel you. That's valid. I hear you. Now, let's break this down. Yes, this went wrong, but what went right? Yes, you don't have everything that you want today, but a year ago you might have been in a worse predicament. There's someone, like, if I talk about myself, hey Simone, I'm gonna let you lay it all out on the table. But at some point, because of my friendship with you, because you're my brother, I'm gonna want to find some way to transition it to, okay, you laid it out, you released it, because confession breeds healing. Okay.
right,
I believe that. I 100% live by that. But at some point, I'm going to want you to acknowledge that, yeah, that went wrong, but there's still hope. I still have a chance. All is not lost. But the most important part you said was people will perceive it as complaining. But guess what? It might be a complaint. It might be in that moment. And I think we need to allow each other to unleash the raw emotion, unfiltered, unrehearsed. Because when we start to try to make it sound good for the other person, it's no longer yours anymore. It's about them, because
right,
you're packaging it to be received. I don't like that.
right.
I
But
want you to lay it
what
out
happens
as it
when you what
is.
hap- right, right. But what happens when you have no outlet for that? When the outlets that you think that you have, or that you imagine you had,
Hmm.
aren't no longer, those avenues aren't available to you.
Well, when you say aren't available, are you saying they're uninterested, they're busy? I think I would need a little bit more definition of what not available means.
Available, what I mean by available is not interested, would rather not talk about it,
Okay.
or would rather just say, well, don't bring that to me. You figure that shit out.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
So, and the reason I asked that question is because that was for a while.
Mm.
Prior to me, prior to me moving from Florida to back here to Georgia. That's where I was. That's
Okay.
the state of mind that I was in, and
Okay.
I wasn't able to, you know, find that solace in somebody. Could wasn't able to find that solace in,
Mm-hmm.
in my spouse. Wasn't able to find that solace in friend and people
Mm-hmm.
that supposedly cared about me and stuff like
Okay.
that. And what happens when those avenues aren't available to you? You're the only thing that you're left with really is compartmentalizing.
Or and I don't want to go super churchy on you,
Nah,
but
come with it.
I'm gonna have to go to the spiritual aspect, because when the Bible talks about casting all your cares upon him because he cares for you, the Lord has been an outlet for me. I talk to him in prayer, in conversation. I'm not some prolific, Pope style praying person, but I have open dialogue with my heavenly Father. And I pick and choose who my human outlets are, because I've learned that everybody who avails themselves to you is not really there for you in the proper way.
Right.
They're there for information and speculation. So I have to say, I go to the Lord, and I've sought out therapy. I've sought out spiritual and clinical help to help me in those cases, because let's be honest, there may be times when your friends are so jacked up themselves, they may or may not feel comfortable even speaking to you because they don't want to bleed and hemorrhage on you with their issues. Yes, Simone, we do need to learn how to deal with our feelings. Yes, how to feel our feelings. I like how you put that. We have to learn how to acknowledge and feel and sit in those feelings. Yes, you might have a complaint, bro. And in the human experience, we're going to have those. Now, should you stay in the complaint zone for too long? No, because that can cross over into depression. But in the human experience, we need to acknowledge that you're going to have a myriad of emotions,
Right.
and each one has a purpose. Each one has a purpose. If you're feeling like, oh my God, this is just not going right for me. My head is spinning. This is too much. I mean, I used to watch Iyanla Fix My Life, and she would say, "Call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
Call a thing a thing. If it's depression, if it's anxiety, if it's a complaint, call it what it is." I get so irritated by religious people. Don't claim that. Don't claim depression. Don't claim anxiety. Don't claim. What do you mean? I'm not saying I'm gonna pitch my tent in it, but I have a diagnosis, and I may take medication for certain mental illnesses. It don't make me less saved, less sanctified, or less Holy Ghost filled. We ain't at the gate yet.
Nope.
We ain't at
Not
the
at
gate
all.
yet. So we are 100% in a human experience trying to have a spiritual experience. And there are times when I don't feel very spiritual. And if I don't acknowledge that, to me, that says I am turning my back on who I really am, what I'm really feeling. And that's where silent suffrage comes. You internalize it when you don't have a comfortable place to express it.
That's right.
Internalizing it is kryptonite, it is toxic. One of the reasons why I believe people choose to end their lives is because of an internal conversation with themselves. Self. Life isn't worth living anymore. Do you agree? Yep, I agree. Self. Your family would be better off without you. Do you agree? Yep, I agree. So why don't we just end it? Yep, we should, and done.
That's true.
That is not the way it's supposed to go. If you say something, it at least puts another pair of ears on it. Like, tell somebody. And it may not be able to be your family. I'm going to be honest. Sometimes telling somebody doesn't mean mom and dad.
Right.
Sometimes it means somebody who doesn't really know you, won't pick a side, but can identify some key elements of your suffering, connect the dots, and help you find a way out of the maze and the labyrinth.
And a lot of that is mostly up here in the gray anyway.
Yes, it
That's
can
where
be.
that's where it is. I mean, for me, it was, and just gonna be really, really honest with you, honest with everybody here that's listening. For me, it was a paralyzing fear
Okay, that's real.
of saying something, saying how I felt, and then either it's not acknowledged or there's no conversation towards it or about it. And
Okay,
so for me, it at times it is a paralyzing fear. Because I
okay.
mean, because the moment I feel like I'm gonna say something and that I feel is gonna be relevant for me to
Mm-hmm.
get out, for me to express, for me
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
release, let go, or what
Mm-hmm.
any other words of people, any other word that people want us to put it as.
Mm-hmm.
It is it is that yeah, it is that it's a paralyzing fear for me. And
Okay.
I'm I'm literally paralyzed when I make an attempt to try to open up to people. I have been better about that
Okay.
because I've been
And let's celebrate better. Let's celebrate better.
have been better
Right?
about that
Okay.
because
Okay.
I have learned because I am learning to trust
Okay.
people when they
Mm-hmm.
say they are who they are to me. But
Right.
but there's still that little thing about saying what I feel about a certain situation, or saying what I feel if something is bothering me, or something that is I feel I need to put my voice to,
Okay.
because for me, it's the fears. The fear of being ridiculed or put
Okay.
down or talked about. So that's the fear. And when I do, and every time I open my mouth to say something about what I feel, that's
Mm-hmm.
that excuse me, that paralyzes me. And I tell folks, this what and if people some I've had people say that, well, you're doing that on purpose. No, this is not on purpose. This has been a learned and developed mechanism.
And fear is very powerful. And
Yeah.
if you have a fear of what will people say, what will people, then I'm wondering if these are the right people. Because true friends, true sisters, true brothers, you ought to be able to have that open and transparent conversation in a safe, non-judgmental zone and
Hmm.
not fear that. I'm wondering, brother, are these people truly trustworthy? Because you should know in your friendships who you can trust with that type of personal information and who you cannot. That comes from relationship.
I'm learning. I'm learning that there are
I
people.
am too.
I'm learning there are people in my circle that I can trust. I mean, you know,
Hmm.
Monica's somebody that I can trust with anything, and I know it's not going to come
Hmm.
back. It won't come back
Hmm.
as something negative or anything of that nature. So with her, I know
Hmm.
that's rock solid. It's other
Now,
people,
here is where the line gets murky for me.
right?
As a friend, as a friend, if you come to me and you have, say it's Monday,
Right.
okay, and you come and say, LHG, this is what's going on. I'm just gonna lay it. Okay, and we hash it out. We talk it out. Okay, bro, I got some ideas. What about this? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. What about, okay, yeah, I feel better. Tuesday, the complaint come back. Okay, let's work it through again, bro. By Wednesday, I'm gonna ask you, did you hear anything that I said Monday and Tuesday? Because sometimes, and I'm not saying every time, brother, sometimes it is a choice.
It is.
If you want your friend to be honest and say, brother, if you want me to give you my honest opinion, here it is. I feel as though we need to wait for that opening first and
Right.
just listen instead of going in for the attack,
Oh
because
yeah.
that's where the ground can get murky and you start to retreat. I think as friends, we need to just hold up, be a listening ear first, and
Yep.
then when you say, LHG, what do you think? Okay, you ready for this? But out. And then when I give it to you and we're having this heart to heart and you're taking it in and you're receiving, I think the assumption is I'm praying something that I said, whether it was a prayer, a scripture, or a word of encouragement, you will take that and apply it. And then maybe tomorrow you may have a complaint still, but not maybe that intense.
Exactly. Not
Because
that
a
exact
real
complaint.
friend wants you to come out of that. A real friend wants you to come out of the vortex of woe is me. A real friend hurts when you hurt.
Oh yeah, for sure. Most
And if you
definitely for
come
sure.
back with the same complaint, that friend gonna say, friend, okay, what we gonna do? Because we didn't talk about complaint number 2 for 2 weeks. What's up? What's up? Is it me? Do you need a pastor? Do you need the priest? Do you need the psychiatrist? Because I'm a wonder, bro. We didn't hash out problem number 2 for 3 hours. Now, at some point, friend, I'm gonna need you to say, okay, yes, I still feel this way, but I'm gonna try something different and maybe see it differently, speak
Yep.
on it differently. Because a real friend, I'm telling you, for me, when my friends are going through hard times, I feel it.
Oh yeah.
I feel it deeply, bro. I feel that jump. I feel it. I'm praying. I'm like, Lord, I wish I could fix it. I wish I had $1 million. I wish I could. Man, that jump
Yeah.
when I care about somebody, when I'm your friend and it get to brother and sister, I'm invested.
But very much so.
Even if I can't invest monetarily, it's my thoughts, my prayers, my time. I'm invested.
Yeah.
So seeing my friend in this place of depression or whatever, it hurts. And then on the other side, when they triumph, I'm going like, yes, you did it. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm there for everything in between.
Yeah.
So it's
Both.
some responsibility on both sides.
It is for sure. And and honestly, a lot of people that suffer in silence like this, they basically they don't want to hemorrhage on other people. They're hemorrhaging internally, but
Mhm.
they don't want to bleed. They don't want to bleed on other people.
Mhm.
They don't want to let loose all the minute they feel they're cut open. They hold that wound and
Yep.
keep that whatever it is from spurting out because
Yeah.
they don't want
Yeah.
all that to spurt out on other people because
That's true. I've
they
been
know if they
there.
do
I've been there.
they know if they do
Yeah.
it's gonna be a cascade of emotions.
Well, this is the thing. If you are having a problem with a relationship and you choose to go to a friend and say, "Hey friend, my significant other and I are having problem A, B, and C." Unfortunately, that friend is going to now see your significant other as a problem.
Right.
And they're going to hold that even when y'all make up and y'all happy, loving again, that friend is going to still side eye. So certain things you may or may not be able to divulge to certain people because of
Right.
the relationship they have with you. They're gonna always be on your side. If you saying this person's getting on my nerves, they're gonna always be like, well, shoot, what you gonna do? What's up?
Exactly.
Nuck if you buck. You know what I'm saying?
And we have to be careful about who we give in who we share intel with.
Right?
We have to be very cognizant of
That's
that.
true.
Because there are some and we talked about this on our what we talked about this particular part of what about your or what about your friend show.
Mhm,
You have to be careful
mhm.
about who you share intel who you share intel with.
Right,
Because those
right.
some people just want to be nosy. Some people just want to be nosy for the sake of being nosy.
That's true. That's very true. It's entertainment
Yeah.
almost.
Most people that you cover, most people that are your true friends, they'll take that intel and they'll use that intel to help you get over
Right,
the hump, help you get to a better station than where you are. But then you got other
right.
people that just don't care.
But let me be, I don't want to call it devil's advocate, but let me offer another perspective. If a friend goes to another friend and just unleashes some really deep stuff pertaining to another individual, what do you expect? If they love you, they're going to go into the defensive for you.
True.
Like, why would you let that person keep doing this? Why would you keep going back? Especially like in domestic violence situations.
Yes.
You calling me saying, come get me. You calling me saying he's hitting me. You calling me saying, I feel threatened. But then when I get there, you say, never mind, don't call the police. No, that's a problem for me though, buddy. That's a problem for me.
It is.
I'm involved because I love you. You my family.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm gonna come and go to bat for you. But yet you change your mind, pick him over safety. I can't keep allowing you to do that to me.
Yep. That's
That's a
harmful.
lot.
That's
That's a
harmful.
lot. And I've had a friend that I've loved dearly. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, do you honestly expect me to accept him knowing what he's done to you? And I love you truly and want you to live. And knowing that he's part of the reason why you almost didn't live.
And then,
You want me to be whose friend?
did that person just blindly say
Um,
yeah?
I don't think that's fair though, brother. I don't think you gotta understand. You can't expect me to accept them the way you have because you blindsided.
Yeah.
When it comes to a person being in danger, in physical danger, I'm supposed to look over that because you feel like they've been rehabbed. No, no,
Nah, man.
I
I
can't.
mean,
That don't sit well with me though, bro.
it don't sit well with me either. And this is coming from a person who's been on both ends of that equation. So either or it doesn't
Okay.
sit well with me. That'll never
Mm,
sit well with me. But like I said earlier, we have to be careful about who we give intel to, but we also have to be careful as friends about what intel we receive.
wow, that's good, bro.
Cause
That's good.
because receiving the wrong intel can put you on the wrong side of a disagreement.
And you can end up losing a friendship over that. And I've had that happen to me in my younger years. My best friend and I were cool now, but she was in a situation that got violent. I chose her safety over our friendship. Don't tell my family where I am. Girl, bye. I wouldn't be able to live with myself knowing
Calling.
if he killed you. And I was like, girl, I will sacrifice our friendship just so you could live. I couldn't live with myself and look at your parents looking down at you in a casket, knowing I had intel that could have saved your life. Baby, I love you, but uh-uh.
Yeah,
I don't like being put in that position. I don't.
and I think that correlates to what we're talking about as far as silent suffrage. I think some things we have to realize are bigger than us.
Yes, absolutely.
Some situations are bigger than us. Our our sanity and our emotional and mental well being is bigger than
Ooh.
us compartmentalizing and
Mm-hmm.
keeping stuff in. And that is the hardest lesson that I've had.
That's
Yeah,
dangerous. Keeping stuff in, brother, is
it is the
dangerous.
hardest lesson I've had to learn. The hardest one. Because let me tell y'all something. This is coming from someone who's experienced this and done this. And I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all that's out there can relate to this. If you keep stuff in and you continue and continue and
Mm,
continue to keep stuff in, that's like a pressure cooker.
it is. It is.
It's sealed up now.
You see?
It's sealed up now because it's sealed up tight. And every once in a while,
Right.
that steam will blow off and stuff like that. But what happens
Right.
when you take that top off while there's
Mm-hmm.
all that pressure in there? That's
Yes,
going to explode. That is going to explode.
it is
That's
a
gonna
ticking time bomb. And one more thing could set you off. I mean, and I don't want to make this a discussion about violence, but I often wonder when you see stories where people just spontaneously walk into buildings and walk into churches and walk into stores and walk into theaters. I always wonder, not justifying it, but I always wonder, what was the thought right before? What was the mindset right before the decision was made that it was them against the world and everybody in the world was the enemy? What happened? Was there some silent suffrage? Was there something that was so deep, so hard, so troubling, so traumatic that they felt nobody could ever understand it? And the remedy would be to annihilate everybody or themselves. I
They-
think about that sometimes.
But you know what? That's a good question. That's a good question to ask. And the answer is probably less complicated than you think.
Hmm.
And the reason I say it's less complicated than what people think is because there are a plethora of reasons why people would act that way or suffer in silence that way. Maybe there's violence there, maybe there's abuse in the home, especially when it comes to a teenager or a kid. Maybe the child was bullied
Hmm.
in school.
Right.
Maybe this person has had a history of that type of thing, a history of trauma. And
Right.
we as human beings, we all have a breaking point or a limit to what we will take
Hmm.
in and what we will give out, what
Hmm.
we'll dish out to. Sometimes it gets to that point to
Hmm.
where we can't take anymore. And all of a sudden, like I said, like that pressure cooker, it explodes. And with that explosion leaves a blast radius, a large blast radius, because that blast doesn't care who it takes in its wake. It
But
can be
here's the
friends,
thing,
relatives, whomever.
the body keeps the score when you don't tell the story. There's a book that I'm reading called The Body Keeps the Score. When we don't confess, talk about, release, unleash what we're dealing with, it's manifesting itself in our bodies. It's
Yep.
causing strange pains and it's causing cancerous cells. It's causing
Stress.
all these things are stress. Stress induces asthma. Stress induces anxiety. Stress induces so many things in the physical form.
Uh-huh.
So whether you're choosing to say it or not, eventually it catches up with you through behavior.
Yep.
When you see people acting kind of like, dang, you just went off on me for nothing. What happened to you today? Who made you mad? Did you bring home road rage to me?
Or if they
You
act like
are
a
that
recluse, or
pressure
they act like a
cooker has
recluse.
topped off. Right. We tend to internalize stuff, and then the people who end up getting it sometimes is those closest to us, like a spouse.
Yep.
I can tell when my husband had a bad day at work. I'm going to be honest. I can tell when he had a conversation that didn't go well with a bill collector or family member. I can tell his whole spirit is off.
Yep.
His face is pruned up. His spirit is off, and I can't even my tenderness doesn't get to him.
Nope.
I
So
can tell it that something has infiltrated his mind in such a way that even his own wife's tenderness at that moment is not enough to penetrate it.
nope. And people, and we as people are stubborn when it comes to that, especially when it comes to like us wanting to hold stuff and keep it. But
Mm-hmm.
but when we're holding stuff that doesn't need to be held.
Ooh, come on.
It's like
Come
baggage.
on. It's poison. It's toxic baggage. It is lethal. It is hazardous. It is hazmat stuff.
And I'm and
It's
I'm
like, yeah.
and I'm learning to like look. Some of this stuff, some of this baggage, you gonna have to jettison off this plane because it's not because first of all, this plane ain't can only
Exactly.
can't go
It
no
can't
higher than what the
carry it.
weight's in it. So you got to jettison
Come
some of this stuff
on,
on this plane,
Fred. Come on.
and you
Come
have
on. The human brain, I don't think the human mind is designed to take constant blow after blow after blow without a cool down period.
The human psyche ain't meant
We
for
are
that either.
much like, it's not the human spirit, the human mind, the human soul. We weren't designed to be robots and emotionless machines.
Nope.
That wasn't God's design for us. It wasn't. But that's why, again, I'm not trying to go spooky spiritual, but that's why I believe when the Bible talks about the fact that we can cast our cares upon Him, that, you know, we should have a relationship with Him so that He can take some of those heavy burdens off of us.
Yeah.
We in the human experience are not designed to take all of the cares of the world. That is where mental illness comes from.
But some of us are
We are
foolish enough
taking
to
on
do that.
every care. Well,
Some,
hmm.
some of us are some of us are foolish enough to do that. I can use myself as as the perfect
Hmm.
example.
Okay.
And when my
Okay. Unpack it.
when my son passed,
Hmm.
there was a lot that entailed all that. And some of this stuff is
Okay.
some of the stuff a lot. Some of the stuff people know, some of the stuff people don't know.
Okay.
I'll skip the what people do know because that's already known.
Hmm.
What a lot of people did not know, do
Okay.
not know, or have not known. There may be only one person that knows this and knows this is that all of a sudden, so from Sandra Bland to Philando Castile
Hmm.
to Alton
Hmm.
Sterling to George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Atiana Jefferson, and so many other names that I can think of that I can come off right off the top of my brain. All of a sudden, everywhere their deaths was something that I can relate to because now I felt like I was
Okay.
living the same thing over and over again.
Okay.
And I took all that in
Okay. I get that.
because I felt like, you know, then all of a sudden I made trying to change stuff
Hmm.
my burden.
Okay. As in being an advocate.
Yep. Or at
Okay.
least making an attempt to be an advocate when it comes to that, when it came to that.
Okay. Okay.
I
Hmm.
won't say that I won't say that it backfired, but I
Okay.
will say that it was unsuccessful.
Now, what makes you say being an advocate or trying to be an advocate was unsuccessful? What quantifies that?
Because first of all I had no I just for a reason I say it was unsuccessful because I had no because first of all I had no idea of the level of what I was jumping into or what I was just wanting to engage in.
As far as boots on the ground
Yep,
advocacy
boots on the
for,
ground, stuff like that. So I
you
had no,
know,
and
stop gun violence. Okay.
even though I did my research on it, there,
Hmm.
I was still kind of like figuring this stuff out. And then
Okay.
the thing that I won't say that it broke me, but the thing that discouraged me the most was just taking on that burden in and of itself
Hmm.
and trying to compress it into my own experience.
Okay.
And that's where I think it kind of went south because I was trying to take that burden of what that is and what these mothers and fathers and other family members feel
Hmm.
though it is a familiar feeling,
Hmm.
but I was trying to take all that and compress it into my own experience. And that's where I think the shortcomings came from because I was trying to try to insert my feelings into into their experiences.
But there was some connection there. You were
Right.
not able to just sympathize. You went over to the empathizing area. And think about it, whenever something happens involving a child, whether it's gun violence or suicide, most parents that they take on an advocacy role because you don't want any more parents to feel like this.
Yep.
You don't want, so you feel so uh, motivated to say something and to do something because you don't want anybody else. If there's anything you can do to make it one less murder, one less
Yep.
child killing themselves, then you make that your plight. And I think
Yep.
that is a very human and compassionate viewpoint because I don't, and that's kind of almost the opposite of silent suffrage. Silent suffrage would be, my son was killed. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to do anything about it.
Well,
That's
for a while I
actually
didn't. For a
the
while I did not.
opposite. The opposite. Being an advocate is, I'm out here telling this story, reliving this over and over to hopefully impact other people to where we can come together and stop this.
But see, for me, the silent suffrage came is where I couldn't express what I felt about my son and how it affect how my death affect how his death affected me to the people that were close that were the closest to me at the time,
Okay.
which was my ex-spouse and other people that I considered to be that I at the time that I considered at the time to be friends.
Okay.
So that's where the silent suffrage came in for me because I wasn't able to. I'm not going to say dump. I will say let those strong emotions go. There were times where I wanted to cry. I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
There were times where I wanted to feel a specific way about something and I could not.
Mm-hmm.
And yep, I was like, this is not it. This ain't this. I can't. And I felt like I was in a daze. And
Mm-hmm.
that's for me. That's where suffrage came in for me because I wasn't
Okay.
able to say that to the people in my immediate circle. And I was like,
Okay.
ugh. And that's where the silent suffrage came in for me because at that point, it was already kind of like I won't say it was at a point of no return,
Okay.
but it was close because now people are telling me, well, by now you should have been there. You should have grieved him already.
Mm.
Didn't you just lose your dad a while back? You still
Mm.
grieving your father, ain't you?
Right.
You still grieving over the loss of someone that was close to you, but you're telling me by now I should be over this. No, you can't tell me that if you can't
Mm-mm.
you are
No.
in no position to tell me anything of that nature, especially when
None.
if I can't tell you the minute I tell you what I'm feeling, well, by now you should have been over that. Which
Right.
automatically puts me in a space of like, you know what? And you got excuse my French, you know, this was my thought, this was my actual thought process.
Okay.
So, so my thought process is like, you know what? Fuck these people. Fuck them.
Mm.
Just fuck them. Because at that point, I felt like they had no vested interest in me. They didn't care about what I felt. They didn't care about what I was expressing. They didn't care. They didn't care about me as a human being or as a person because who would blindly or just offhandedly say something like that?
Someone who's insensitive and doesn't have a clue on how to deal with someone that's grieving, and that fact that our grieving process is so unique and individual. You can't
But
you
this
can't
person just
say,
but this
you should
person just
only have 6 weeks to
lost
grieve a
their
child.
relative.
Wow.
How can you be insensitive to that?
Now, and I'm not justifying it, but I wonder if some people do that because whoever they lost wasn't close to them. Maybe they might, well, I don't see why you was all the fuss. My grandmother wasn't good to me. So I don't know why you saying you can't pass your grandmother dying because your grandmother was
Look,
mean to you don't mean my grandmother was mean to me. My grandmother raised me. So it could come from just different experiences. It could come from insensitivity, lack of knowledge. It could be
Yeah.
a lot of different things. It could be.
But my thought process was like, is he and I can jive with that because some people are insensitive because, and even
Yes.
though, and I'll say this, even though me and my son was not as close as I would like for us to be, and
Hmm.
that's still my
That's your
child.
child. That's your
That's still
child.
somebody. That's somebody
That's
that I
your
helped birth
child.
into this, bring it down, that I helped bring into this
Yes.
world.
Yes.
So
Yes.
there's no way in hell I'm not gonna feel a way.
Yes. I agree with that.
Even though we weren't close, and even though we didn't reconcile our relationship like I would, like neither, like both of us would have
Hmm.
wanted to or would have liked to,
Hmm.
that doesn't take away the pain and stuff that I felt when I got that phone call.
Right.
And like I
Right.
said, for me, the silent suffrage began after
Okay.
it began after, he was buried, and the realization hit, the stark realization hit that he ain't coming back.
Hmm.
That's where the silent suffrage for me kicked in. And I was
Okay.
like, okay, yeah. And that's where people say, well, this is this, that, and the third. And that's where my attitude was like, you know what, the hell with y'all.
Yeah.
You don't want to listen? You don't want to listen? I'm talking, but y'all ain't listening no way. So guess what?
Hmm.
Let me just keep my ass over here in the corner
Hmm.
and just do what I do. Go about
Okay.
my day. Go about my day and just live like ain't nothing happened. Knowing
Knowing you're
inside
still
that
suffering.
knowing the inside knowing
Yes.
the inside is I'm walking an emotional and mental minefield.
And that's where things go awry. Just because one particular friend, maybe two or three particular friends, don't understand, because many people, if they haven't been in your shoes, and prayerfully they won't ever be, they may not be able to fully understand what you're feeling. That's why when people go to funerals and go around those with grieving, we say some of the dumbest stuff sometimes. Sometimes just be there and be quiet. Just be there.
Exactly.
Show up, show your love, give a card.
And shut
Sometimes
up.
all this extra stuff that we add to it makes, well, what happened to them? And what went on? And we ask questions, we just talk stupid. Sometimes just the presence and the love and just being there is enough. But in the case of losing a child, unless you have been in that position, they may never understand the depth of emotion, something that you were part of the reason why they existed.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing
Yep.
with a parent too. When a part of the reason why you're here is gone, that's a different kind of grief.
It is.
It's
Hits
and I'm
differently.
telling you, it's a different kind of grief. So some people just need to be honest. I don't know how you feel. I'm not going to ask you how you doing. I'm just going to say I'm here and I care. And I'm going to just be over here in the corner sitting down here. And if you need me and you want to share and you want to talk, once all the chicken is gone and the pound cake crumbs got swept up, then I'm going to call you.
True.
I'll be there, because that's when you're gonna need it. After all, everybody's gone home, the cards have been put up, all the arrangements have been solidified. You've been to the grave site, you've sent your thank you notes out, and then when the reality sets in, that's when you're gonna need them. Not when is everybody eating chicken wings together in the room, hugging
Yeah.
in all black.
Amen.
It's when they're gone.
Amen.
Yep.
That's when you're gonna need a friend.
That's so true.
Hmm.
That is so true. Because I remember that podcast we had, and we were talking about our grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Me and LHG together, and it's like she said, once all the hugs and loves and I'm so sorry for your loss and all the texts flood in, and the lights shut out at the end of the day, and you're just like,
Yeah.
you sit in the dark, like, oh
Mm-hmm.
my God, they're really gone.
They're really gone.
Like it literally hits you like boom.
And everything reminds you of them. And even
Everything.
years later, a certain
Everything.
song, a billboard, a TV show, a cologne, you
Everything.
you you never know when you're going to have those moments. And
Never.
nobody can tell you, Fred, you only allow 7 weeks to grieve for a kid.
That
You
part.
only companies do that. Corporate America says we're only going to give you
3 days.
the 3 days for a child, 4 days for a parent, 3.5 for a grandparent, none for a cousin. Cousins mean nothing, but for an auntie, we'll give you a day.
You
Companies
can't.
set that, but in reality, I could have a godmother who was mom to me, but not blood. So now you saying I don't even get a day off because you don't think the relationship was close enough.
That part.
You don't get to dictate that.
Right.
It's the person's
But
connection to me,
some
not
churches
their
do though.
bloodline or the title.
And it's sad how these jobs will just like make like they will force you to like, oh no, well we're short staffed, so unfortunately you can't leave right now. I mean, yes, you're
Nah,
short staffed, but
let me
what
tell you
does that
something.
have to do? What does that have to do with me and my family member
Let me
passing?
tell you something. I'm always choose a family member over a job any day.
Family
If I'm gonna
first.
choose
Come
a family
on,
member over a job any day.
Family
come on.
first.
Hey everybody, I know I just jumped in. I ain't
Hey
saying nothing.
Simone.
No,
Hey
you good.
Simone.
You good,
But
Simone.
looking at the whole silent suffrage, since we brought up corporate, people are going to work or logging in with a whole lot of suffering, trying to
Whole
get these
lot.
customers, trying to get the customers to smile and good morning, my name is Latanya, I may help you. And you just don't know
We
how
damage
much
inside.
suffering
Yes,
either they're experiencing or the customer on the other end that
right.
called and got an attitude and you said they were rude. Maybe they just lost somebody
Right.
and they're that pressure cooker. And in that moment, you got the brunt. We got to give each other some grace.
And it's kind of like it's crazy how like if you just lost a loved one and you go to work the next day or a couple days after whatever, and it's like you try, like I know recently back in March my granddad's anniversary had came up and I was just like, oh my god, I pushed through the work day, but I was just like that whole day his face, everything about him was just in my mind all day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting here trying to keep a face up
Mm-hmm.
and get through the workday, but it's like,
Yeah.
and it's only but the strength of God, and it's like, wow,
Yes. Yes.
it's nothing but God.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
there were certain times during that day I just wanted to literally like break down and cry,
Mm-hmm.
like seriously.
And that's why we should pay attention. I know many of us are working at home and we're not in the office.
Right.
But for me, sometimes when I was in the office and I walk up to somebody, I say, how you doing? Don't ask that and then you don't stick around long enough for the answer. That's fake. You ask me how I'm doing, and can I be honest? I'm not having the best day. That's such a formality. How you doing? How you doing? And we don't even look to
we
see.
do that in passing though. We do that in
We
passing of each
do.
other.
And the thing is,
We
and
do.
the thing about it is because we're so deep in our beliefs, we go, oh, I'm blessed and highly favored. We go, what else we say? We go, yeah, I'm blessed.
5
How you
baptized
doing?
running for my life.
Right.
All that
That's
stuff, man.
the line we're supposed to say to appear that. And even in a church setting, I can remember.
I mean, yes. I mean, for me, I think part of that is true because we're still, of course, we're still alive and we're still healthy.
Right. And there's a reason to rejoice. I'm there.
Right.
But
but the problem is with that cliche, whatever we want to call those things, the problem is we're dying inside.
Oh yes.
So we walking past somebody, they ask us how we doing. Oh yeah, good. I'm good. I'm blessed. But when they walk,
I'll say this, and I hope people don't take this the wrong way. There's a scripture. in the Bible that says the wages of sin is death?
But the gift of God is eternal life.
I'm going to say the wages of constant silent suffrage could be death.
Whoa, that's good. That's
Because
good.
if
it's a silent death.
it's
That's
a
good.
silent death. If
Yes.
you consistently walk around pretending as if, and I can go back to my childhood, it was very important for my family to appear well-to-do, drive a nice car, live in a nice house. She's the choir director, she's the administrator, and I love my mom, but she was very particular about appearances. What goes on in this house stays in this house. Don't go over nobody's house telling our business. And we had plenty suffering moments. But I was sworn to secrecy. But children can't hold water.
Nope.
So my one auntie, I was like, yeah, auntie, we ain't got no heat. We ain't got no hot water. She's like, you ain't got no what? She didn't tell me that. Why? Because she didn't want to be embarrassed. You got a whole husband. Why you don't have no water and no heat? Both of y'all work good jobs. Why you don't have? Well, everybody hits hard times.
Yep, for sure.
So why is it so important to fake it and to act like everything is all right when it's not? It's not all right. So now you teach your children to be fake.
You put your kids in a very precarious or curious situation.
So do I not say something, or do I say, Annie, we ain't got no hot water, we ain't got no lights, we ain't got no whatever, and I'm gonna risk getting a whooping? I told you not to tell, but they came and helped us, and we got some lights. So I'll sacrifice this whooping for this good light.
There you go.
I mean, a child shouldn't be in that position.
Never.
That's crazy.
And a lot of people, a lot of us that suffer like that in silence, it's because of childhood trauma, things that we've also
been indoctrinated that.
Yep.
The absence of problems means you're more saved.
Oh.
The presence of problems means you're backslidden.
Oh,
and that is so off.
I like that. That's wow.
That's so off.
It's so off, but it's been a religious doctrine. If you are the one that God is favoring and every need is met and everything is perfect, your health, then that means you must have struck gold in the kingdom. But if you on welfare, eating government cheese, catching a bus to church, you have sinned and fallen short.
See, and that is a disconnect that I do not like.
I don't like it. That's sad.
I don't like that, because now you're equating well-offness to someone being saved, and you're considering
and people do it.
And you compare destitute to being in sin.
Wrong people do it. You have done. You got cancer. You must have sinned against God and blasphemed.
And that's exactly what they did to Job.
Ooh.
And
Job, that's why people suffer in silence. I don't want my salvation to be questioned. I don't want my ability to get a prayer through to be questioned.
Right.
Because I'm going through trials and tribulations.
Right.
Exactly. And
if we remember what Job did, the scripture with Job, he told his friends what was going on, and everybody was like, "Boy, what you do?
What did you do?
You had
to do something."
The first that's always the first question. Well, especially when you fall up on hard times. Did you pray about it? Baby, I don't think you prayed enough, baby.
That part. Stay right there. Stay right there. Stay right there. Did you pray about it?
Wow.
See,
why is that question if I'm talking to you, if I'm telling you what I'm going through, and to answer, I prayed about it, but I'm coming to you to help get an extra prayer through, maybe stand on the hedge with me or me.
Right. Where two or three agree.
Intercede on my behalf. What?
Right.
I mean, why you gotta ask that question?
With me, Put your faith and my faith together, and I get that.
It's this thing about it's this thing about the church that always wants to. I'm not downplaying the church, not whatever, but it's something about the church that always wants to, just throw the Bible at your face.
Judge.
Literally, like, if they could, if they wanted to, they could literally pick up the Bible and throw it at your face.
Like if they take a thermometer and put it in your mouth and say, "Yep, your Jesus juice is low."
But like,
That's why you're going through problems.
exactly.
Like checking the car when the oil's low. Like, oh well.
Right.
Yes, like
And
that.
They
that's
need
why
an
so
oil
many
change,
people
but
don't,
Your diesel oil is low.
and that's why
they need an
people
oil
don't
change
want
a
to.
week, but we ain't in the business of changing oil.
Exactly. And that's why
But
so
here's
many
the
people
thing. What we're going to have to do is make sure that we are being the kind of friends that we would want people to be to us. If you want
Exactly.
someone that's going to listen to you, be there and partner with you in prayer, not beat you over the head, then we have to start being the change we want to see. And we also
Exactly.
have to acknowledge not everybody is meant to be your friend.
Exactly.
There are
That is
some
true.
people who are just not in a place, and it could be because of their own trauma. It could be for a conglomerate of reasons, but not
Yep.
everybody is equipped or designed to be that person in every time of need. It's just we got to understand not everybody is prepared for that, and we got to be able to gracefully say, you know what, thank you, I appreciate you, but I'm gonna go on over here because you make me feel worse. Not
Exactly.
everybody understands how to be a friend. And the other part of this is some of us choose to wallow in misery too long.
Yep. That
I'm
was
just going to
me.
be honest. Some of us
That was me.
literally become addicted to the pain.
That was me. Want to wade out there, stay in them deep waters for however long.
And for a real friend, that's going to be uncomfortable. You are wallowing in the deep part of the pool too long. Come on back
Up to the
because you
shallow.
about to drown.
Yep. And even yep. And that was me for a while. And I think the one thing you
So it's
mentioned
two
earlier,
sides to
when
this.
yep, if you should that would that for me that was my choice. I chose to be and chose okay. Nobody will want to talk. Nobody want to listen to what I got to say. Okay, so now I'm gonna choose to stay over here in the deep part of the pool.
Okay.
I
Real
know I'm
talk.
strong enough to tread water, but what happens if I can't? What happens if I can't tread? If my strength gives out? Okay, then I'm gonna drown.
But I'm wondering though, Fred, and I'm gonna take it here and you I
Go
feel as
ahead.
though men are different from women. The
We are.
male level of pride is a little bit different than a woman's level of pride. When a man has been taught, molded to always personify caveman masculinity. I
Yeah.
am man, nothing can hurt me, nothing can make me cry. And you are literally raised in a society that says the moment a tear falls, you are no longer a man, you are a woman.
Oh,
You
oh,
are now other than heterosexual because you're crying, because you're emotional, because we tend to attach emotion to women and non-emotion to men. But we're
And we
human.
that
We
part.
all bleed red. We all have emotions.
Mm-hmm.
but we've been to
And that has caused silent suffrage, that
but we've been
type of
taught that.
gender role.
Yes.
I
We've been
don't
Yep.
taught
like it.
that. We've been that's something that's been ingrained in our mentality and in our psyche from since we were old enough to pick up a ball or a bat and
And
stuff like
maybe
that.
since slavery, maybe going back to it can go
Yeah.
as far back to slavery. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, but that mentality has broken many men, broken up many families
Yep.
I
because
agree.
of the stigma of if you allow, and I just had this conversation with a male, and and I don't allow people in my space. I don't allow people to get
Well,
close
you
to me.
got to.
And when
Right.
somebody gets close to me and you let me down, I'm hard. I'm hardened. No, no. Okay, so maybe one relationship didn't work. Maybe one person walked away. But why does everybody else in the world have to be penalized for what didn't happen in one situation? That's one person. It doesn't mean everybody's going to be that way. We hold grudges,
That we
emotional
do.
grudges.
Those are worst kind.
Just
Those
because
are worst
one
kind.
person left you, passed away, whatever, and now you want to be hard. I won't let anybody else into my space anymore in fear of you walking out. Every relationship is a risk. You don't know how it's going to end up. Every relationship is a risk. So
Yep.
I'm like, if you constantly isolate in fear of something, you'll never relate to anybody.
That's
Mm,
You'll
it.
live in constant fear. That's not living to me.
Facts. Facts.
that's good.
That's a mere existing. I don't want to be hurt either. But I also can't hold everybody accountable for what one or two people did to me.
Mm,
Yep.
yes.
That's not healthy. And
It's not.
that creates silent suffrage too. I'm
It
suffering
does.
because I no longer want to make myself available emotionally in
Mhm.
fear that the past will happen to me again. And if
Mhm.
everybody thought that way, people will only get married once. If they divorce, they will never get remarried.
That's true.
I can't love again. I can't do it again. I can't. You only have
Yeah,
one
you can.
relationship in your whole life. I mean,
Yeah,
we
yeah, you
can't
can.
live
It's
like
not
that.
the end.
I mean,
That is true.
the human experience includes disappointments, people.
Yep.
And I'm
It
Yep.
does.
talking to me. It's going to include some ups and some downs. But if you
Indeed.
only focus on the down periods and not the high times, then you will never ascend back up again. You'll
That
always have low level living. Always.
Yeah.
Always live low level.
you can't move forward if you continue to move, look in the rearview mirror.
Exactly. You'll always be stuck, and that can cause other types of problems mentally, physically. We need to have more conversations like this, Frederick Beatty.
Yes.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
This is the
And I
starting
think
point.
it is.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing you mentioned earlier is like that word grace.
Yeah.
It's a small word, but it has a large meaning.
It's got a powerful punch, don't it, brother?
Indeed.
Yes, it do. And like you said earlier, we don't give each other grace, and we damn sure don't give ourselves grace.
Come
Ourselves.
on.
We are stingy with the grace.
We are our own worst enemies.
Oh my goodness. We are
How can
stingy
I
with the
how can I
grace.
girl? How can I extend grace to somebody if I don't extend it to myself
You
first?
can't, not genuinely. You can't.
No way.
You can't. So when people hold grudges a lot, it's probably a reflection of something that they have not forgiven themselves for.
Mm,
Yep.
that's good.
It could be. It could be. There could be something internally that's making them question everything and everybody, including themselves.
Mm,
Well, that's it.
But the absence of grace in relationships makes false expectations.
Yep.
wow.
That is
We
true.
are
That is true.
expecting people to be what we can never be and what no human can ever be.
Exactly.
Mm,
We are not perfect. We are
We'll
not.
never and
Now,
will
I'm
never
not
be.
saying be a pushover either, but you need to be mature enough to say,
Exactly.
if I have a 40-year friendship, we have been ride or live for 40 years, and my friend does one thing off. Is that worth the whole 40 years, or should I call her and say, sis, yeah, about that conversation we had, it left me feeling a little off.
mm-hmm.
We will release people
Yeah.
from our life for such menial things at times and not be willing to invest a conversation to
Come
uncover
on.
what probably is a misunderstanding.
Come on.
They hurt me. She hurt me.
Look,
Okay. And does she know she hurt you? Does he know he hurt you? Did you say something? You posting subliminal messages about it. You done went to everybody else but them. But do they even know? Like when a semi truck passes you on the road and causes a rock to hit your windshield, they didn't know. That semi truck so big, he didn't roll
they
off.
don't
He
know
ain't
him. They
even
don't know
know.
that.
They don't know that. They don't even feel it. But you
But
over
when
here in the
somebody
corner
hurts
on
you,
the side of the road, hooping and hollering and cussing and screaming, they probably didn't even know that they're one of their 18 tires caused a rock to hit your windshield. They probably didn't even know.
Wow.
but when somebody
And that
hurts
happens
you,
in relationships.
or if you hurt somebody, that person's supposed to know about that.
They should know.
Okay,
They
so
should be made aware immediately. Don't let it fester.
I have a question.
Okay.
What do you do when I'm trying to figure out how to make this question make sense. If I can. What do you do like when certain things happen and you know a person is a certain way
Mm-hmm.
and they kind of make you feel like you don't really want to talk to them? Does
Well,
that make sense?
Are they being are they being ignorant of you, or are they kind of are they avoiding you, or what?
No, they're like the way, like their personality and things like that make you
mm-hmm.
feel like when things happen and
Mm-hmm.
things like that, you don't want to say anything to them about it.
Because you
Oh,
know how they're going to react, and you know
Mhm.
what you say it could be negative automatically.
Mhm.
Uh, At this point in my life, I have identified such people, and I will be honest, I don't say too much. I've learned what I can share and what I can't. In my circle of influence and my friends or my acquaintances, I've learned what conversations I can have with who.
yep.
Mm.
You learn to keep people at arm's length. You
There,
learn to
each
keep people.
person is assigned a spoon.
Yep.
Some handles are long, some handles
Some
are
handles are
short.
not.
I think I remember you saying that.
Okay.
Feed, certain
I
folks you
love
feed from a
you,
long handle spoon.
but I've learned because of their own track record
Yep.
that certain information I will never divulge to them because they can't handle it.
And
I've
as you
asked
get
this
older,
question because this has happened to me several times at my job.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this supervisor, and sometimes the way she comes at me
Mm-hmm.
when accidents and things happen, she's always
Mm-hmm.
like, come to me, yeah, let me know, I got,
Mm-hmm.
da, da, da. But it's like the way she comes at me, it's like, I don't really want to talk to you about that. I'd rather just,
Mm-hmm. But
because
my question, Simone, would be this. In therapy, I learned something called I messages.
I
It
statements, yeah.
says, I feel blank when you do blank.
Mm-hmm.
I think people, first of all, need an opportunity to know that when you approach me like this, supervisor, you cause me to feel this. Now, what you do with the information is on you.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like you want to change it, compromise, come to an agreement, and then thank you. But if you don't, you can't say you didn't know what I
Mm-hmm.
felt. Everybody deserves at least the benefit of the doubt to at least tell them how they make you feel. No
Mm-hmm.
assumptions that they know. It
yep.
could literally be their way. I've had people I work with, well, that's just how she talk. You're not talking to me like that. Oh, no, you won't. I don't care how you talk to her.
Right.
Not with
Yeah.
LHG, you won't.
Yeah.
And y'all stop allowing that crap. That's why they get worse because you keep allowing it. Somebody
Yep.
gonna haul off the smacker.
That's what I'm
Stop,
learning
stop
now too.
allowing people to be serial disrespecters.
I'm
I
learning
mean,
how to do
just
that.
make it normalized. That's just how she talk, girl. It's wrong.
I'm
Oh,
learning how to
you're
do
right.
that.
Yep.
It's
And
I'm
see,
wrong.
for
learning at this moment in my life, even as I'm getting older, I'm learning at this moment in my life how to set certain boundaries, especially in the way that people
You
talk to
have
me.
to, because that's a part of silent suffrage. Why should everybody in the office silently suffer and let that one person antagonize them? That's a silent suffrage.
Yep,
Why
it
don't
is.
somebody get the balls to say, Dear Kathy, because I'm that one. The reason why nobody likes you is you are a jerk.
Mm,
And I'm coming to you real because they're over there talking about you. You don't know how
mm,
to talk to people. And I'm tired of how you make me feel. Now, we ain't got to like each other. But the one thing you're going to do is respect me.
mm.
We ain't got to have
Yeah,
Starbucks, Big B's, or Dunkin' Donuts. But one thing you will do is respect me.
that's
And I'm
it.
learning.
Period.
I'm at this point where I'm trying to learn how to get that courage to let people
Hey,
know.
Bill Bravado, hello. Get the
I'm
courage,
learning
yes,
how to
because
get the
you have
courage
to love
to
yourself
let
enough.
people know that. Yeah.
You have
Yep.
to love you enough to say, at the end of the day, I deserve respect. You ain't got to agree with me. We ain't got to sit in the office and rock and sing kumbaya. None of that.
Right.
But the
But
very fundamental thing that I deserve,
Is
ground
respect.
level, ground floor, 101 is respect.
Yeah.
yep. Oh
Not
yeah.
agreement. Not agreement. Respect.
Yeah.
And I
And we
tell folks
lack
all the
that.
time.
We lack that.
I tell
We
Because
folks
can't
all the
even
time.
we can't
I do
even
it a
have
lot.
social media discussion without people cussing, calling folks the N-words because we can't agree. I should be able to respect your opinion without it getting ugly and insulting.
For me, it gets really bad because I just let people, and I know I definitely gotta get better with it. I just let people talk to me any kind of way and
Don't
just,
do it, Simone.
deal with the feelings.
Nah.
That's hurtful. That hurts.
It, it,
You
it,
are a
it, it
grown
really does.
woman and a human being, Simone.
It really
Now, if you
does
got a
hurt.
problem with me, if my performance is off, you can come up to me and say, LHG, thank you for showing up, but you could have done this a little bit different. You know what? I will own my errors.
Mm-hmm.
I am the owner of my errors.
Mm-hmm.
But when you approach me like you stupid, you're incompetent. Oh, whoa,
That
whoa,
part.
whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on.
That part.
Hold on. Hold on. We ain't gonna do that. I could
And
have made an mistake
I've
or
had
lack of
people.
information. Maybe something didn't connect. I'll own that. But you're not gonna come in here and talk to me like I'm an imbecile.
Right. I've had certain people say things like that, and I'll just be like,
It needs to be reported, Simone.
no. And it's not at the job. It's just like, especially
Just in
when
general.
in general,
Okay.
and I'll just walk away from it. I mean, because I know I have a mouth, and
Okay.
I want to go off at the moment. I'll be like, I want to spit some choice words,
Right.
but again, I'm trying to be godly and just
Right. We got
let
a
the
question
Man,
Lord fight my
down here.
battles.
man,
Can we
hell.
address Bill Bravado's question?
Oh,
That's a
I
very
got it.
good
I got it.
question.
So so here we go. So what does respect look like for me? So I'll start it off and then everybody else can go. Okay, we can go around the mob. We can
That's
go
a
around the
great
mob.
question.
That's a good idea. Yeah, great question.
For me, and this is just for me, everybody else's opinion is different, my brother, River Romano. Respect for me is an automatic thing. You get that from me automatically as a first of all as a human being, secondly as being a male or female. What changes for me is when you take that automatic respect that I've given you and you disrespect that by number one calling me something that I'm not. Two, saying something that's disparaging or disrespectful as it pertains to my family, my family or my friends. And if you disrespect me or my business or my business associates. For me, those are the lines. Those are the lines that I tell people never to cross. Respect is automatically given to me. Honor is automatic. Respect and honor are automatically given to you for me from the outset. When you show when you do and when you make and when you do actions that are disrespectful and dishonorable, then me personally, this I can't speak for LSG and I cannot speak for Simone, but I can only speak for Frederick Beatty. When you disrespect me or dishonor me, I will respond accordingly. And that doesn't, and for me, my response is not always a violent response. Disrespect to me is disrespect. Dishonor is just dishonor. But I'm not always going to respond in a way that, in a negative fashion. You disrespect me, that's cool. I'll just ignore the hell out you. Or I won't even address you. Me personally, I don't have to cuss anybody out when someone disrespects me. I'm learning that now. As I'm getting older, wiser, and a lot more cognizant of the things that I say and the things that I do that have an impact to people. I don't gotta cuss you out for you to leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
I can just sit there and just look at you and be like, just shrug my shoulders like, and so for me, that's that. I hope that answers the question from my point. But we got with Simone and LSG. You guys want to attack
I'll
that a
let
bit?
Simone go.
Respect is just what it says. Respect is treating people the way you want to be treated.
Exactly.
Which means if you want to be treated nicely, you have to treat me nicely. Somewhere in the Bible it says if you want to be a hyper friend, you have to show yourself friendly.
Friendly. That's the word.
So therefore, like Frederick said, I'm automatically going, especially if I'm just now meeting you, I'm automatically going to respect you, hands down.
Right.
Because I don't know you.
Right.
So there's no need for me to come up to you and just, tear you down and mop the floor with you.
Right.
Right.
I don't know you at all. So now if we know each other and if we're connected in any type of way, then you should know that respect should go both ways.
Right.
So, and for me,
Road.
I'm learning as well that I don't have to respond to everything.
That's good, Simone.
Because if you disrespect me, and my mouth would just go. Not with cuss words, but it will go. I'm not cussing you out, but you will hear my mouth. What you laughing at, Fred? I'm so serious.
I know, but because I know for me, that's the opposite.
Listen. I want to say some choice words. Listen, there's a part of me that always wants to say some choice words.
I will say choice words.
He will and has and shall.
I know. There's a part of me that always wants to say choice words. But I won't. But you will hear my mouth. And at some point, you're going to hear my mouth. And at some point, I'm just going to tell you, I'm not going back and forth with you. You got it. Because you disrespect, and especially if you disrespect me once, that's on me. Because I let it happen. You disrespect me twice?
That's
3 times?
on you.
Hit the road, Jack. Don't come back no more. But the problem with me is I have such a big heart. And I don't do that like I should.
Right.
I just let people do what they're going to do and just roll with it. So I got to learn how to, again, set those type of boundaries where I don't let people just talk to me any kind of way.
Or treat you any kind of way.
Right. Yeah.
Because I tell folks all the time, look, here's the detonator to this bomb. It's on you if you decide to press it or not.
Ooh. Oh. Okay, Fred.
Well, let me tell y'all what respect is to me. my existence will never be ignored if you respect me.
That's it.
If you act like I'm invisible, like I don't mean anything, you don't have to like me to respect me. I am not a Beyonce fan, but I respect the heck out of her hustle. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be a fan to respect. Respect me. You see and acknowledge a person's human existence and maybe even their drive in something. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to respect, I walked into a meeting one day. I was the new kid on the block, and I sat in the meeting, notebook and fresh pen, fresh out the box, medium point, ready to take many notes and be best I could possibly be in this new job. And everybody else, I'm the first one in the meeting. I'm so punctual. I'm just crazy. Everybody else comes in and then they start talking. Now, I'm new, right? So I don't understand much of what they're saying. And the way that I understand is by asking questions. So I'm quiet at first. I'm trying to see if I can understand. And then I say, excuse me, what does this acronym stand for? And the manager literally ignores my question, turns her head and starts talking to someone else.
Oh boy.
Oh no. Oh no.
That is probably one of the most blatant types of disrespect that I've experienced in corporate America.
LHG, you a good one, because I would be like, ma'am, I'm over here. I know you hear me talking to you. Hello.
I felt like nothing. Like, I'm so eager to learn. I'm so ready to jump in. I'm so like, I'm happy to be here. I'm just trying to, because you know, when you have meetings and you have new people, we have to remember we have new people.
Exactly.
Don't talk over them. You know, as you're talking, kind of break some stuff down so a person feels welcome. That was so disrespectful because the manager, not a peer, the manager didn't even acknowledge my mere existence in the room.
And you're the manager.
Because the first thing should have been said is, before we start this meeting, let's welcome Latanya Harris Gooden, our newest supervisor to the team.
Exactly.
Now, Latanya, you may not understand something that's being said, but we're going to stop and we're going to break some things down. That's the way respect is. Okay? That's respect and acknowledging. And even caring enough to say, I know I got a new set of ears in the room, and I want you to feel a part of this team since you just freshly joined. Okay? That's respect. I'm not going to really have much to add today, but at least know I'm showing you I'm taking initiative. I'm interested.
Shoot.
And I at least, even if my question to you sounds stupid, it at least means I'm listening.
Exactly.
Listen to me. I'm gonna tell you right now. When I was in school, these teachers act like they decided they wanted to ignore me, right? So I just keep my hand up all day. I don't care I don't care how long it takes for you to turn around and say, yes, how may I help you? Or
and that's horrible.
Very much so.
Because
very much so.
Listen, you can acknowledge me at some point.
That's respectful and hateful. I think sometimes some disrespect to me borderlines hateful.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
Like, you must really hate me or people who look like me or something for you to treat me like this. What is it?
Hell.
What am I doing?
The question would be, do you hate yourself?
Like, wow.
That's the bigger question. Do you hate yourself?
That's crazy.
Do you hate yourself that much that where you disrespect and dishonor me? What's wrong? What's wrong with you?
Something has to be wrong with them. My human citizenship should at least warrant basic respect. Not agreement.
Nowadays it don't.
But my human citizenship card should at least get me to the ground level of respect just because I'm here sharing this
doesn't.
planet with you. You get an A until you prove to me you need an F.
Apes.
That's good.
I'm gonna start
That's a
you with an
quotable
A.
right there,
You came
y'all.
in
That's a
here on a
quotable.
good spot. You came in here on a good foot. But
Put
after
that on
you
the
start
t-shirt.
showing me who you are, your grade gonna start dropping accordingly. But I started you off with a nice fresh A because I had no reason to doubt you yet. But as you open your mouth and show me your true colors, yeah. Either you're gonna
Put that
keep
on the
that
t-shirt. That's
get
good.
an A plus, or it's gonna start going down, 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 down.
That's good. That's good.
That's a quotable right there.
Put that on the t-shirt,
I'm
please.
telling you, you come in on a good foot. I'm an optimist at times.
Yeah, me too.
And to my detriment at times, but you come in
Same.
with an A. I come in, you showed up. You got an A for showing up.
That
You got
part.
an A for being born. You got an A for sharing the earth with me.
Yep.
But as soon as you start showing me you're not worthy of that A, oh, it's going to start going down.
Yeah.
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 Now
And I
some
think
people
we
will keep
need-
their A and it'll be an A plus. I mean, because
I think
they
we
have
need to start.
earned it, proved it, and they have shown me that they deserve that A. Beautiful.
And I
But
like
some
that you
people will
put it.
show you they don't even deserve to be in orientation. That's known to start class.
I like that you put it that way because I think
I
that's what we really need to. We really need to start categorizing people.
You don't even need to be in orientation. Don't even come to the interview.
Right.
Because you don't even qualify to even apply. Don't even
You're done.
Don't do it.
LHG. Oh my God.
Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
But
Don't even
it's
need
true.
to pull out. Don't even pull out the application and write on it. Don't even do it.
Nah,
Don't even
it's
waste
true,
the
though.
paper.
It's true though. People will show you who they are, and then at that point,
And
you
better
make
believe
you make the conscious decision of whether or not to keep them in your class, meaning your circle or your orbit, or you kick them out.
Or you kick them out.
Yeah.
You fail them out of your class.
Oh, look, the moment, like I said, for me, the moment you disrespect and dishonor me, oh, that's an automatic F. But then again,
automatically.
But then again, I'm also learning that word called grace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
it's situational. It's situational.
Exactly.
So if you disrespect me one time, you get a C.
It's a process. I'm not saying automatically go from A to F. I'm saying open up your eyes, your ears, your heart, your spirit. Pay attention. Love yourself enough to know you don't deserve abuse.
Mm-hmm.
You don't deserve to be called stupid, ignorant, or to be talked to in any other way than a competent human being. You keep coming at me like that. You keep coming at me. I told you how you make me feel. We've had conversations privately and with a witness, and you still won't change.
See,
I followed protocol. I went to the teacher, then the principal, then the superintendent. I followed all the proper protocol, and you still don't get it.
See with me, all that after I do all that, you fall into the fuck around and find out class. I'm dead serious. You fall into the F around, you fall into the fuck around and find out class.
Because the problem is if you keep them around, if you let them keep the A, okay, get this. If you let them keep the A with bad behavior, you're teaching them that what they're doing is A stands for acceptable.
Exactly.
So if you allow them to be disrespectful, allow them to say things that are mean, allow them to be hateful, allow, you're saying it's acceptable if you don't change the grade. Exactly. Now you're teaching them that their behavior is okay. A means top of the line. So that means your people who got a C should start doing what the A people are doing.
C means these improvement.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
If you let them keep the A, what message are you sending to everybody else? If they get an A and mess up like that, then shoot. I can too.
And the funny
Right.
part about it is we get people who treat us with a C grade, the A grade.
See?
Or worse yet, we get people with a D grade that treat us with a D grade or F grade, the A grade, because we want to be
Yes.
cool and give benefit of the doubt. Yeah.
Yes.
Nah,
So
the
we
minute,
have
the
to
minute
be
you
mindful of what grade we give people, what access we give people, and how we teach people how to treat us, because a lot of the silent suffrage comes from not being honest
yep,
about how a person makes you feel.
yep, and all
Yeah.
and
What you do for me isn't everything. It's how you
exactly.
make me feel. Do you
Yep.
Ooh.
make me feel? A customer will go 20 extra miles to get a Whopper and pass by 18 other Burger Kings because of how the customer service person makes them feel.
I'm trying to
Not the
tell you.
Whopper. The
Just
Whopper
like
is the
Just like
thing
LHC.
Chick-fil-A,
everywhere.
right?
Okay.
Just
But
like
because
Chick-fil-A, right?
this one person comes on, good morning. Thank you for choosing Burger King. How may I help you this morning? How are you, Miss Harris Gooden? I know you normally get the rodeo cheeseburger. We got them hot and ready for you. Hot and ready. Come on.
You would want you go right back there again,
I would
and you
every
would
day when
repeatedly
I'm
go
going
back there
to the
because
store.
that's
LHC, I'm
what that
trying to tell you. Listen,
you would repeatedly go back
customer
there.
service, and I've started learning that when I have worked at Cold Stone, and I realized how customer service plays a big part in, I will always say it because I'm the one getting from the person. Well, when I actually started being the person to give out, I realized that. Like, at one point, I was working at Cold Stone, and there were people, my coworkers would be like doing other things while I would be attending to the customers. And then they're wondering why they're not getting, the tips and whatnot. I'm like, because y'all don't give a
Mm-hmm.
F bomb about these
Flip,
people.
a
Mm-hmm.
flip, a
Yeah.
flip.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're looking at me while I'm getting all the tips and like, how you get that?
Yeah.
How you, customer
I
service
get you.
thing,
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
customer
But
service.
it
Yeah.
and we most definitely gotta jump back and gotta circle back with this because I mean there's so many things
It's
to
layered.
unpack with the yeah, there's so
It's
many
layered.
things to unpack with this. And we can do this all night, but I mean, yeah. But we are going to do a part two with this because I
It's a very good topic, brother.
most definitely want to dig deeper into those layers because there's so many things that people that suffer silently go through it. And this it's a myriad of things that we go that people that experience this particular thing go through, and
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot to unpack, and we're gonna take that luggage and are going to unpack it. But I want to thank Miss Simone Austin and LSG for coming on and rocking it out with me tonight, man. I appreciate
Good,
you
good
ladies so
stuff.
very much.
Stuff, brother. Good
No
stuff.
problem.
Good
I
stuff.
appreciate y'all so very much, man. Before we end this thing, man, I got a couple of announcements that I want to throw out here with you for you guys, man. First and foremost, I interviewed a brother last Friday, Deontay Boulder. He has an award show called the Boulder Awards that's gonna be going down in Atlanta, May 20th. Show starts at 6. Award ceremony starts at 8. If you are in the area, come check it out, man. If you guys want to come check it out, you can also visit the website www.thebolderawards.com. Go and get your tickets and then get more information about that. Second thing I want to do, I want to congratulate and I've congratulated my team more than one time over the course of a couple of weeks now, but I'm going to keep on congratulating her on the release of her new book called Kingdom Faith in the Mustard Seed. Um,
Hey.
I had a blast helping her get this book out with the editing and the formatting, and I am so proud of my auntie. So, auntie, if you're listening, use the published author now. So, I want,
Gracious.
I want.
Yes,
Well,
awesome.
I got a copy of the manuscript, but I want my actual copy. So,
Yes.
and then last but most definitely not least, Tune in tomorrow when My Life Has Destiny. They got Quinn Jones and Coco Fennec has a great show going on for you guys. I have no idea if I'm going to do anything on Friday, but you guys will be the first to know if something does go down. And then also make sure you tune in for Critical Conversations with my sis LHG. Always in the house, always rocking it out, man.
Critical Conversations.
Yep,
Yes.
always
Oh,
rocking it out.
And every Wednesday, don't forget, Tuesday, guys.
Girl chat Tuesday. Girl chat weekly.
Girl Chat Weekly. Tune in at 8 o'clock every Tuesday night.
Yes.
We got some fresh hot topics every week.
Yes.
Look here. I've been watching some of them girls. Y'all be also. Y'all be. Woo.
Listen, Greg.
I'm telling you, it's a good thing. Sisterhood.
Y'all ain't nothing to play with.
8 p.m.
Baby.
Don't miss it.
Y'all ain't nothing to play with. And then the other announcement, the last announcement that I got for tonight is that, let's see, Wednesday, April 26th, I have Miss Siobhan Williams in the Author's Alley. We're going to talk about her new book. And then Friday, April 28th, I have Mr. KT Brown in the Author's Alley. We're going to talk about his book. And
all right.
That really is that's gonna end all the announcements for tonight. Unless LSU, you got something you gotta want to want to throw out?
Well, no, Simone took care of it, but yes, we coming this Saturday with our show at 5. Girl Chat has been amazing. We getting ready to do some really good things coming up in the next month or so, dealing back with the 7 dimensions of wellness. And it's going to be really good. And I've got some people lined up. I'm going to be interviewing some local artists. So I'm looking forward to that too.
Listen, guys, before we officially close out, listen. I know you've heard me say this last night, but I'm going to keep saying it until you get tired of me, okay? Shop Polished on Purpose.
Oh, thank you.
Please and thank you, okay? Because if you really like, I'm telling you, this woman sent me the cutest necklace and earrings. Oh, God.
Thank you, Simone. You're so sweet.
Are you laughing at me, Frank?
But no, I know. But like, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say it again. Look, just like Simone said, please go check out my sister's her paparazzi site, Polished on Purpose.
Please, guys.
I'll put my site in the comments.
The link will be in the comments.
Girl.
The link will be in the comments. Shop till you drop, okay?
Yes.
Just shop till you drop.
Yes. Thank y'all.
Polished on Purpose, paparazzi, whatever you want to call it.
Look.
Shop it, okay?
Let me get you accessorized, y'all. Everybody out.
Please.
Let her be the one to make sure that you're polished on purpose.
I would love to be that one. Thank you.
She got you covered. Look.
And
my brother, Real Bravado Network told me to say, look, he told me to check you out on the Real Bravado Network. So I am on there. I am on there with Mr. TJ.
Awesome.
And with TJ Moore, we do talk about things that pertains to men. Oh, yes, nice.
I don't know if y'all can see this card.
Like that. We have some great
business card. Hopefully somebody can see it. This is her business card, and these on the back it has all the ways you can join her team, her paparazzi team.
Yes, come join.
Listen, when I tell you, this woman sent me the cutest, and I mean the cutest earrings. Not only that,
there's more.
Right. Somebody tell me what this says.
Ace.
Can you see it? Sorry, hold on. Let me make sure you can see it first.
I can't see that.
I know what it says. Can you read that for you?
LHG, don't tell it. Don't say it.
I ain't gonna say it.
Can you see it? Sorry.
Remember, I'm blind.
Okay, well, I'm gonna reveal it. It says trust in the Lord.
Trust in the Lord.
Trust in the Lord. And look at the complimentary earrings. Look at this. Look at I just can't tell y'all enough. I can't explain to y'all
how much. You're doing a mighty.
I cannot. Look at this. Look at this.
You.
I can't explain enough how much this woman just blew my mind.
Oh,
And I don't even know what these are. These are called
fruities.
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 Fruities. I've never tried these before, but
They're
I'm
so
going to try it.
good. They're so good. It's
Listen,
like that.
when I tell you, go shop Polish on Purpose, okay?
Thank you, Simone.
And I'm trying to figure out where she got this gold packaging from. Because I'm going to need her to go back to Dollar Tree and buy out that whole aisle.
I had to keep it cute.
I need you to go back to Dollar Tree and buy out that whole aisle, okay?
I'm going. I'm going. If it went so well with you, I hope all the other customers feel the same.
Look at this.
Look,
And she put it with. Come on, y'all.
Just trying to
look.
trying to brand, trying to do my branding.
Go
That's
shop
it.
Polish on Purpose. That's all I gotta say.
Please do.
Just go shop Polish
Now,
on Purpose.
Ooh, thank
Do
you.
what my
now,
necklace
Simone,
says.
before
Trust
Simone
in the
get
Lord, okay?
crazy,
The Lord. That's the Lord. My
Listen,
phone's
now
ready to die.
before Simone get crazy, y'all. Before Simone get crazy,
that's all I
y'all,
wanted
like
to
I
say. I
said,
just wanted to push her business out there, okay? That's it.
there
That's
we
it.
go.
That's all I'm trying to support a sister, okay?
Thank you,
Hey,
Simone.
support black business, y'all. Support black business.
We
And
need
before
at
we get
least.
out of here, man, before we jump out, before we roll up out of here, man, I want to thank everybody who tuned in, who watched,
Yes, thank
listened,
you. Please share, like, and
tuned in.
subscribe.
We appreciate y'all, man. We again, YouTube channel Trailblazers Radio. We are on the road to
Yes.
100 subscribers, and I most definitely would appreciate if you guys
Oh,
go to the channel, like, watch a couple of videos, like the videos, subscribe
yes.
only
Hi.
if you feel the content is relevant and resonates with you.
Yes.
We don't want you guys to subscribe to that it's not going to be relevant or resonates with you. So please do that. And on that note, y'all, we about to get up out of here, man. I love you guys. I love you guys to life, and there's nothing you can do about it. You guys be safe out here. You guys take care of each other. You guys love on each other. And as always, and this is a new saying that I'm going to use here, man. As always, go with God, y'all.
I like that.
Go
Love
with God.
it.
On that note, we gone. Love y'all.
Adios.
Peace.
Good night.